So guys, sorry for the disturbance. I'm here in the park outside. As I said, I'm in my to my relatives. So this is chapter 75, my first two loves, and I'm taking the rounds. So there can be some noises, and I forgot to turn on the microphone, so my voice wasn't getting recorded. So here, this is the second dialogue only, I think, second or the third. So let's get started. The nurses kept everyone but Mac and my dad away. As the hours tickled by, I couldn't help but give in to my dropping eyelids. Later, when I opened my eyes, I found Marcin pacing worriedly at the foot of the hospital bed, while Mac sat in a nearby chair. So much for the family only. What had you do? Tell them you were my brother. Marcin's eyes jumped to mine, and his darkened expression brightened as he came to my side, slipping his hand in mine and kissing the back in a way that was especially unbotherable. Brotherable. Definitely not. Dad's around the corner in surgery. I figured he wouldn't mind if I checked in on you. At the thought of his dad, Mason glanced at his phone, face clouding over again when there were no new messages. Max saw it too. Dad said he would text if anything happened. No news is good news. Right. But he was practically a million miles away and getting farther every second. Desperately, I tried to pull him back. I'm sure everything will be fine. You have got to try to relax. I can't. The last thing I said to him was that he wasn't worth the air he breathed. Who says that to their dad? Someone under a lot of stress? Dad swiped the curtain divider aside and came to stand at the foot of my bed. The surgeon said he is stable for now, but Mason, your mom could use some company. Why don't you head back to be with her? Mason nodded, before turning to me and giving my hand a squeeze. I'm glad you're all right, Abby. You had me worried. That makes one of us, cause with you looking after me, I am always in good hands. He shot me a smile before walking away, and I waited for him to disappear down the hallway before I turned back to my dad. How's your head? Minor contusions, but they think at home observation will be fine. Once the nurse brings my discharge papers, I'm free to go. How are things looking for our other patients? It's hard to tell. Didn't get an OR until after the golden hour. But Jim's tough. Either way, he's got a long road ahead of him. And so do we if we are gonna get back home. Or we pretending that Jennings didn't kick us out. No, I think this trip is over. Dad reached into his pocket, pulled out his car keys, and handed them to Mac. Once you're released, you kids should head home. I'm gonna stay and translate some of the medical jargon for Linda. Dad, please take care of Mason for me. That's actually real nice of you. After the way dinner went, I was sure we were done with the Jennings for good. Yeah, now you're staying to help out. What gives? Girls, when I decide on a career in medicine, I didn't just take on oath to help people like I liked. My job is to help those that need help. And today, that includes everyone. But I had better get back. Text me when you make it home. He moved the curtain aside, slipping out just before the nurse stuck her head in with a smile. Auntie Price, what do you say we get you out of that bed, huh? The nurse insisted on wheeling me down to the waiting room as Mac trudged along with my stuff. When the elevator door opened, our nurse sprung to their feet. Addie, we were starting to think we have to come and get you. I opened my arms and wrapped them both in a hug before taking a good look around. Junk food wrappers littered the space. They had pushed chairs into makeshift beds while they waited. Have you guys been camping out here? Where else would we go? Yeah, we couldn't leave until we knew you were okay. How's Principal Jennings? So far so good, but that could change at any time. Mason's not handling it well. No groaned as he checked his phone. He is not the only one. Your dad told my mom about everything, and now she and Nizel are their way. She wants me home. Looks like we'll be spending Christmas together after all. No, you can always spend Christmas with us. Isn't that a good thing? No one's kicking you out of my house. No one but Dad. When he gets back and finds out the two of you been shacking up with no adult supervision. As much as I'm not looking forward to going home, I'll have to do it sometime. Might as well as be now. In that case, need a lift? Mac held up Dad's car keys with a crane, and Ava plucked them out of her grasp. Hey, I have my permit. Sorry, babe, but one accident on this god-forsaken mountain is more than enough for me. Ava turned and headed for the door with Mac hot on her heels. And now I shared a laugh as he grabbed my wheelchair and rolled me after them. Well, after we dropped Noah off at home, Ava pulled us back onto the highway in the direction of our house. Mac glared grumpily out of the window in the back seat, and I groaned as sunlight glinted off the car in front of us. How are you feeling? Like a tree fell on me, but alive, thanks to you guys. It was so hard to see you like that, and even harder to leave you. Ava, I'm fine, and considering everything that happened this weekend, I don't even think the crash counts as a notable event. To be fair, you got edged out by some real contenders. Mac pulled herself forward until she was practically hovering over the center console, and with everything incident she named, she held up another finger. There was Mrs. Jennings hiding a would-be murder weapon, her husband reading us all for filth over dinner, and us getting the boot before dessert, just to name a few. Honestly, out of everything that happened, the most shocking is that you and Balaam broke up. Jennings had a heart attack. We only hit the slopes once. How scary was that? 1 second he was telling us we were too poor to be his friends, and the next he was on the ground. Thank God Dad was there. I wouldn't have known what to do otherwise. I guess if you have to have a heart attack right in front of a doctor is a good place as any. Other glint of sunlight hit me right in the eye, and as I squinted through it, I realized it had come from a last minute Christmas billboard. Crap, we have got to find a store. I forgot Dad's gift. Are you kidding me? It's Christmas Eve. Where are we gonna find him anything? Let alone something good. Without hesitation, Ava took the next exit, weaving gracefully through the surrounding traffic. Sounds like a job for my favorite indoor shopping center, the mall. When we got to the mall, the place was packed. Everywhere we looked, shoppers were running for the hills, pushing past each other, and even fighting for the last sale items. Whoa. Quickly, I stepped out of the way of an elderly woman, wrestling a yoga pants-clad soccer mom. I should have warned you. When the sale prices drop this low, it can get a little dangerous. We have just got to find something Dad will like and get out of here. How hard could it be? Before the words had even left my mouth, the elderly woman put the soccer mom into the headlock, squeezing until she realized the blender they had been fighting over. Where's your go-to yoga now, Shirley? On second thought, maybe we should divide and conquer this to get this done quicker. That's when putting the boom back in baby boomer. Agreed. You two take this hallway and keep each other safe. I'll head around the corner and check there for anything good. Who's gonna keep you safe? Ava smirked as she flexed her toned biceps, and I ran my eyes over her fit frame. Please, I left my woman over my head for fun. These grannies ain't got nothing on me. With that, she strode confidently down the hallway, and I couldn't help but stare after her. Mag waved a hand in my face. Twaddy, I didn't want to ask why she was here, but are you sure Dad's the only person you need to shop for? What about Ava? Not to mention the guys. Did you get them anything? No. What would you do without me? Come on. Mac and I wandered into a nearby clothing store, taking in the lack of inventory before weaving our way between the tables. A moment later, Mac held up a scrap of fiber. Is it a mini skirt or a blue top? Both. Try again. There's got to be something here Ava would like. What about this? She reached behind a slip gloss display and plucked a silver of gold metal from its hiding place. A compact mirror. Let me see. It's so cute. I'll bet someday I was planning to come back for this. Their losses again. Do you think she'll like it? It's I think it's perfect. We had better keep looking. Wow, sorry Ava. I'm just not sure it's her taste. Fair enough. Why don't we move on? Maybe we'll see something in the another store. We crossed the aisle to the specialist store and immediately a flash of white caught my eye. Wow, is that a captain's hat? Matson would like it. I snatched it off to the shelf and put it on while Mac tried too long. White bird in the mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left, you'll see the captain to flight 491 is challenging us to drag race. Please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in their upright and locked positions because he's going down. Wait, didn't Mason just get his pilot's license? That could be a cool joke gift. And after everything that's happened, he could probably use a laugh or two. Maybe it will brighten his spirits. I should put it back. Sorry, Mason. Or maybe now isn't the best time for a joke. You know him better than I do. But I don't think we are gonna find anything for that in here. You're right. Next stop, the bookstore.